Let's talk about camera gear. What is in my camera bag 2020? Hey, what is up guys? This is Neil Ladores and welcome back to our channel, and today, like I said earlier, we will be talking about all the stuff that is in my camera bag. What is going on inside my camera bag, the things that I use, everything that's in my camera bag. We will be talking about that today. Let's kick it off with the camera bag itself. Now, this is actually the bag that I use for work. So I still don't have a dedicated camera bag, but we will get to that soon once we were able to sort things out. It's really hard to find a really good bag right now with everything that's going on around the gimbal that I use. This is the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. Now, I did a little unboxing video of this guy. I wasn't able to record a review, but we will get to that as soon as we can. I really like this gimbal. It's really handy, it's really portable, and it's for mobile. So when I'm doing vlogging, when I was starting out in YouTube, this was the gimbal that I used in making those cinematic B-roll. This tool actually helps you get smoother image. It doesn't improve the image quality of your phone, don't get me wrong, but this stuff makes it a little bit more smoother. It makes the video more professional looking, if that's even a thing, you know. This one is a 3-axis gimbal, tilt, roll, and shift motor. I'll make a video review about this one, so stay tuned for that. So subscribe so you get notified once that video goes up. The next item in my camera bag is this little GoPro pouch. This is where I put all of my GoPro stuff, all the mounts, all the accessories. I put it in here. Right now, I am using the GoPro Hero 7 White. I was a little hesitant of buying this one at first because I wasn't really able to get a proper review. Nevertheless, I thought it was a really good investment either way. This one is the entry level. It costs around $200 at the moment of purchase, so maybe the prices have gone lower by now. All the mounts are here in the little GoPro bag, the cable attachment, and I also have this GoPro chest strap. The chest strap is really handy, especially if you're going outdoors and your two hands are not available. Then you can use the chest strap to mount your GoPro without even trying to hold on a monopod or some sort. Another thing in my camera bag is this pouch. Now, this pouch is where all of my lenses come in, but we'll get to that a little bit later. All of the lenses are in here. All of the chargers, all of the cord, they are all inside this little great and tiny pouch. I bought this pouch in the SM store. It's really cheap. It's really affordable. You guys can check it out. Chargers to charge the battery of my camera. Microphone for my camera. This one is the VideoMic Go, $100. So it's really not that cheap, but it's on more the quality side. So it's a win-win for me. An ND filter. I use this one when I try to take pictures in direct sunlight, when there is too much sun and I want to get a higher depth of field. That's actually really nice. It's really simple and it's really nice. External hard drive, because you have to put your camera file, all your files into something. This is 1 terabyte by Seagate. A notebook. As you guys all know, I love black. When I saw this one at the store, the National Bookstore, I immediately grabbed one of these because it's color black and I love black. So that makes sense. That makes sense to me. A pen for the notebook. When an idea comes into my mind, I jot them down immediately. And what better way to jot them down with a pen? This one is a SHEAFFER brand. This one is the POWERBEATS Pro. And this little bad boy also goes inside my camera bag, especially when I'm editing outside and it's a little noisy. I pop this one on. This one connects to my laptop really easily, really fast. One of the reasons why I bought this one is because I can't charge my phone at the same time when I'm listening to music with my headset on. Got to have a Bluetooth headset. A power bank. This one is made by Pocket Juice, and this is 20,000 milliampere hour. This one is amazing, guys. I can charge my phone at least 4 to 5 times with this, and since the MacBook is also USB Type-C, I can also use this to charge my laptop. That makes life a little easier for me, especially when I'm traveling around the world. In some cases, the airports will be filled with a lot of people by the time I get there, so there's not much room to insert your power brick, so must have if you're traveling. Now let's talk about lenses. The Canon 50mm, also known as the Nifty 50. And now I did not make up that name, someone else did, but a pretty good reason. Now this is the lens that I would recommend for beginners, or if you're already professional, I would still recommend this lens, and here's why. This is a 1.8 aperture lens, which means this one opens up real wide and allows more light to come in. Now this lens is a fast aperture lens. Since this lens allows more light to come in. You can adjust your shutter speed faster, which allows you to take better photos in low light. Especially guys, if you're a fan of those nice, tasty, blurry background, this one does that. This one can do that. Now I use this lens mainly for taking portrait photos. This one is not stabilized, so you might get a little trouble when you're going to use this for video. In the 55 kit lens now, of course, you're still a startup and you're still a beginner, so most of you may have some sort of kit lens in your camera gear. This one is very versatile. You can use this for vlogging, but I wouldn't recommend because it's not stabilized. You can use the 18mm for vlogging. You can also use this one, is also 55, which means you can also use this one for portraits. But it's still a really good lens to have, especially if you're just starting out. The next lens of my choice is the 10 to 18mm by Canon. This one is the lens that I use for vlogging, mainly because it is image stabilized. It has a stabilization built in. The lens choice that most people recommend for vlogging is the 16 to 35mm. But when I looked it up, it was really expensive. It was bad expensive, so I tried to find an alternative, and this one was the best alternative that I could find. You can use it for vlogging. You can also use it for taking landscape photos. Also, I wouldn't recommend using the 10-18 for taking portrait photos because it would make your image or your subject a little bit of weird with all of the distortion that's going on. But if that's your thing, then you can go ahead and try that out. The camera that I'm using right now is the EOS 1500D, and let's talk about photography side first. The camera has a 24.1 megapixel sensor, so if camera or photography is jammed, this camera may be a good choice for you. Although I won't recommend this for YouTube videos because this one doesn't have a flip screen. It would really be a lot of trouble, especially if you're making YouTube videos and you need to see yourself in front of the camera. You want to see how you're doing. Let's talk about burst speed when we're shooting fast. This one has 3 frames per second when you're shooting, so it's kind of fairly slow. It's not the kind of camera that you would be using for sports photography or wildlife photography. What the 1500D really performs best is for taking portrait photos and for landscape photos or some sort like that. This one performs really well. When it comes to video, this one is 1080p with 30 frames per second and 720p for 60 frames per second. And this one costs around $499. So you get what you pay for. Tripod of my choice, this one is the Wayfeng. It's not actually the cheapest. I mean, this one is the most affordable, and at the same time, this one has the most quality that it can provide. So quality and price range, this one is the mid-range of it. I recommend that you buy a tripod of some sort, especially if you're just starting out into photography or in YouTube. You will need some kind of tripod to mount your camera for you to get those still images perfectly and clearly and crispy. So that is it for me today. Hope you guys like this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you like. Smash that like button. Comment down below on the topic you want me to discuss next. And that's it guys. On the next video.